we're moments away from this NVL and intra-valley rivalry between Ansonia and Seymour. Buddy, this is a special day for Seymour. It's their last home game of the season, and well before the game they had their ceremonies where they honored the senior football players.
I think it's a great tradition. I know when my sons played at Amity, it was really a great feeling to be able to come out with your son on the last game of the season, home game, and to have them recognized, and also to recognize the parents for their contribution to the program. And Seymour has done this for a long time, and it's a great tribute to not only Seymour, but to all the people involved in the Seymour High School football program.
Well, our viewers could see that snow-covered field. As we look up into the sky, we do see some patches of blue sky. We're not going to have any precipitation, but the reason for the field condition, of course, is all that frozen precipitation that fell in our area over the last day and a half. And just as I mentioned it, Director Ron Carkett provides us with some of the blue off in the distance. Ansonia won the opening coin flip. They have deferred to the second half, and Seymour will get the football first here at the Barber. Seymour, of course, 7-2 on the season. We mentioned their final home game. Next week they travel in their finale up to Waterbury, and they face the Crosby Bulldogs. Ansonia, of course, coming in with a spotless 9-0 record. And Brent Teodosio to kick it off for Ansonia. Straight down the middle goes to Brian Moore. And Moore is stopped at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Wildcats will take over. And let's take a look now at that Seymour offense. First of all, on the line, the center is Troy Sobieski. The guards are Chris Pagliaro and Alex Alapat. The tackles are Chris Thompson and Kevin Mullen. Tim Sadek is the tight end. And completing the rest of the linemen. You see the quarterback is Brian Moore, the fullback is Pete DeBarber. Tony Day is the tailback. A.J. Machia and Mike Gardella are the wide receivers.
Coming out of that shotgun right away, going deep for a big play.
And it was Jarvis Benjamin on the other end. Mike Aldo was the intended receiver, and Benjamin picks it off for Ansonia.
Just straight out of the shotgun, they run the outside receiver straight down the field. Excellent coverage by Ansonia. You'll see, if we can, right there, the pick right at about the 38, 39, maybe 40-yard line. We're going to have problems trying to give you where the ball is, but approximately the 38-yard line. Ansonia will take over on the interception.
And we'll give you that Ansonia alignment when we get an opportunity to. They start, of course, with the wishbone. The quarterback is Brent Teodosio. Hand is to Andre Smith. He bangs it off the left side for a pair on the play. Let's take a look now at that Ansonia offense. Center is Mike Raleigh. The guards are Mike Petrosky and David Hoyle. Tackles are Jason Hawks and Fran De Palma. The tight end is Rudy Polish. In the backfield, the quarterback is Brent Teodosio. In the wishbone, Chris Morrow is the fullback. The halfbacks are Cortez Johnson and Andre Smith. And Jarvis Benjamin is the wide receiver. Ansonia on 2nd and 8. And again, they try Smith, and he bangs it off the left side again for a pair. Let's go to the Seymour defense along the front four. Kevin Mullen is the nose guard. The defensive tackle is Pete DeBarber. The ends are Troy Sobieski and Alex Alapat. The backers are Mike Aldo, Matt Sympathy, and Todd Scabby. And the deep four, Mike Gardella, Tony Day, A.J. Machia, and Brian Moore. And when we get an opportunity, since we were unable to, we will give you that Ansonia defense. Movement.
Little bit of a movement by number 73 for Ansonia, and that's Frank De Palma there with the just slight movement. It'll cost Ansonia 5, and it'll be a 3rd down and 10. Difficult to pick up big yardage, I think, today. We're going to find that the field conditions are going to limit a lot of what both offenses are able to accomplish.
So it'll be 3rd and 10. We're just underway from the Barber Field in Seymour. Cable 10 Sports, Valley High School football game of the week. Benjamin out wide to the left side on 3rd and 10. In motion goes Smith. Theodosio on a drop, screens it, and it's almost picked off by Aldo on the play, and it goes incomplete. It was intended for Johnson.
Mike Aldo is going to sit in the middle of the screen as Brett Theodosio tries to come back to him. He tried to get the ball outside to Cortez Johnson. Good job by Mike Aldo smelling it out as you get a look at Paul Sponheimer on the sidelines now. Punting situation for the Chargers.
Jarvis Benjamin to punt the football away. Gets a good snap from center and gets a low punt off. It's just going to roll dead inside the Seymour 30. We'll call it the 26-yard line. And that's where Seymour will take over. We didn't get an opportunity to before. Let's look at that Ansonia defense. The down linemen are Pete Teslick, David Hoyle, and Chris Morrow. The ends are Rudy Froelich and John Morrow. The backers are Joe Lascari and Tobias Freeman. John LaRova is the monster back in the deep three for Ansonia. Andre Smith, Cortez Johnson, and Jarvis Benjamin.
Seymour's going to stay in the shotgun? No, they're coming up, all right? They're back to their I formation.
Moore is the quarterback. Behind him, the fullback to Barber, and Day deep in the I, and Day is taken down by Teslick and
promoted. He uses it when he tames a horse to take a saddle and a rider.
Block. They're trying to get the tailback Day into some opening, and Ansonia closes it down. About a 3-yard pickup for the Seymour Wildcats on the running play. Second down, about 7 for the Wildcat offense. And they go back to the shotgun.
2nd and 7 for the Cats. Buddy mentioned in the shotgun. The quarterback is Moore. And a high snap from center. And Day's going to just slide on the football back at his 10-yard line.
Great job by number 24, Tony Day, in covering that mistake. Ball is just completely out of the reach of Brian Moore, and then Day will cover it up. And turnovers, as we said in the beginning, are probably going to determine a lot of this football game. And Seymour is backed up, very poor field position, and that's something that I think is going to be very important before this day is over. That's field position.
3rd and 24 for the Cats. And they try the up-back, the fullback to Barber. He is hammered at the line of scrimmage.
Joe Lascari, number 46, is going to greet the fullback to Barber as he breaks to the right side. An excellent tackle by number 46, Joe Lascari, the senior. Brings up a 4th down punting situation, and Seymour's going to be lucky if they can kick the ball past the 1st down markers here. Ansonia should have outstanding field position after this punt.
Day is at his goal line.
More back in punt formation.
And a good snap from center. And he gets off a good punt under the conditions. And it's still in bounds, fielded by Cortez Johnson, who tries to swing wide to the left side. And a lateral movement is just not there. And Johnson is taken down at the 48 of Seymour. Considering everything, I think Seymour ended up in pretty good position.
Outstanding punt. And Ansonia had 3 deep backs to try and make sure that they did not let the ball bounce away. And Cortez Johnson able to get it inside the 50, maybe at the 46-yard line.
Chargers side of the Wildcat, 47-yard line, 1st down and 10.
So Ansonia's second possession of the football game. Wishbone set. The quarterback is Theodosio. And that's Johnson piling off the right side and picking up some good yardage on 1st down, 4 yards. And a few of the Cats get up, led by Tim Sadek from the backer spot.
Just a power formation. The wishbone just comes right at you. The off-backs blocking straight ahead for the ball carrier. Picked up about 4 yards on that. As you get a look at the Seymour cheerleaders on the sideline, it's very wet. Still a lot of ice, and doesn't look like the sun is going to come through here today at the Barber Field.
Again, they try Cortez Johnson. He gets a pair and then is driven back by the Cats.
Again, straight ahead. No pulls on the part of the Ansonia lineman, but Seymour comes up with a pretty good stop right there. Maybe picked up a yard. It'll be a 3rd and about 5.5 to 6 yards. You get a look at Jack Hunt over on the far sidelines, and straight ahead type football game here today. Field position very important, and I think the first touchdown is going to be very big in this game.
Third down for Ansonia at the 42 of Seymour. And Teodosio on a play fake. He's under a rush, and he's going to be brought down for a loss back to his 49-yard line.
Teodosio hit the backfield and entering the pass.
Solid rush by the Seymour Wildcat defense. You see number 89 breaking through there, and that's Timmy Sadik. Sadik is going to get credit for that sack. He'll get help from number 68, Kevin Mullen, but a good job by Seymour as they back Ansonia across the 50. Charge are going to have to punt the football to the Wildcats.
Benjamin again to punt it off. This time he sails it.
Not a good idea to let that thing roll.
And Day just lets it settle in and stop at the 8-yard line. We've got a break in the action here at the Barber Field. We are scoreless. Timeout for the Barber Field. Buddy caught up with Coach Jack Hunt of Ansonia before the game, and he asked the coach if Ansonia had an advantage in this football game with the wishbone offense and the field conditions.
Well, I think with our big people up front and the power offense that we have, yeah, I think it could be. I think they're going to be more limited with their more misdirection offense and traps and options. So I think I don't know if it's an advantage. I mean, we both have to play on it. So
Seymour taking over deep in their own territory back at the 8-yard line. The give is to the fullback. That is Matt Sympathy now in at the fullback spot. He is hit at the line of scrimmage.
Peter Teslick, 77, is going to get a piece of the fullback as he comes through right at the line of scrimmage. Actually a loss of about a yard, maybe a half a yard. A good job by that Ansonia front getting through, and Teslick at 6'6", 320 is a tough guy to move on a day like today.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for the Cats. Anthony Day, the deep back in the eye, standing at his goal line. And Day gets the call. And Day gets a seam and gets out across the 10-yard line to the 14-yard line. A good pickup on 2nd down.
Little misdirection, and on a day like today, the misdirection is going to help. Day just goes to the right side. He finds that seam, as Eddie just said, picks up a couple yards, but he's still going to be short of that first down. It'll be a 3rd and 3 for the Wildcat offense.
Machia out of your picture out to the right side. 3rd and short for Seymour. Moore on the option. Pitches to Anthony Day, and Day's picked up the first down outside the 20.
Tackle made by Benjamin.
Ansonia came on a blitz. Lascari came on the blitz. Ansonia was unable to take the option away, and a good pitch today by quarterback Brian Moore, and they pick up the first down across the 20-yard line. An outstanding play for the Seymour Wildcats as they distance themselves from that goal line.
Coming up to the line of scrimmage, the center Troy Sobieski, 6'2", 185-pound junior. High back formation, and Sympathy at the fullback spot is wrestled down at the line of scrimmage by Chris Morrow.
Watch Morrow, number 39, come off the block and then make the tackle. Ball carrier just tried to get to the outside again. About a half a yard pickup for Seymour. It'll be a 2nd down here. 4 minutes left in this very quick running first quarter here at the Barber Field.
Seymour spreads the field, and they crack it inside to the fullback Sympathy. He stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Seymour is still trying to pull along the line of scrimmage, as that time they had Alapatin and Mullen on movement along with Thompson and Pagliaro. Not a lot of gain there as Sympathy really ran into the interior. Teslick, Hoyle, and the 2 linebackers, Freeman and Lascari. Be a big 3rd down here, about 9 for the Wildcats.
Once again, 2 wideouts either side of the field. I-back formation for Seymour, the standard set. And the fake to the fullback, and Moore to the outside. And Moore might have picked up another first down. A great play by the Seymour offense.
Be interesting if they have to measure, because there's no real yard marker to bring it across on the mark. But again, Brian Moore with excellent faking. Good fake to the fullback inside, able to get outside and pick up that first down. And Seymour able to move the football here in their 2nd possession of this football game as they're out around the 35, about the 35-yard line, somewhere in that area.
High back formation, 1st and 10 for the Cats. 2 successive first downs. They started this drive deep in their own territory. The pitch to Anthony Day, and Day's going to be slowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Going to get a clip also against the Wildcats as the option came to the outside, and there were a number of questionable blocks on that corner. You'll watch a good fake to the fullback. Then Day, with the end playing him, pitches the ball to the outside, gets it to Day, and then tries to allow Day to turn the corner. There's the clip right there by number 80, and it's going to move the football back. Number 80 came in with that block. That's Mike Gardella, and both officials picked it up. It's going to be a clip. You see Kevin Moreland make the signal, and it's going to back the Seymour Wildcat offense up. They'll be back around the 20-yard line by the time they get through stepping this one off. Across the 20, down inside the 20 at about the 17. He's going to be close to the 15, and they mark that off. So it'll be a big play now for Seymour to continue this drive, as they're going to have to go, I'd say, close to 30 yards, Edward. Tough to tell there, but they got to get up to about the 45-yard line.
That's where the line to gain is, Bud.
So I'd say about 30 yards.
So we will repeat the down, 1st and 30. And Moore sets up to throw the football after a play fake. Morrow after him, doesn't get him. But then Moore is hemmed out of bounds by the scary 46.
I think it was LaRova. I may be wrong, but I think it was John LaRova. Could have been Lascari. I'm not sure on the number, either 46 or 48. Moore sits in the pocket, then he's flushed out number 40 with good pressure, forcing it to the outside. And then as he turns up the field, right here, he's going to get run out of bounds. It is 48. John LaRova with the play, and it'll be a second again, very long, probably about 29 to 30 yards for that first down. And all that field position was lost by that penalty, and I know Coach Sponheimer has to be a little upset.
2nd and long. Moore wants to throw the ball, and he puts it up, going for the tight end, Sadik. Coverage by Benjamin on the play. Falls incomplete. 3rd and long for the Cats.
Moore has Sadik running right down the seam. He just overthrows him. You'll see Sadik wide open here, and then the ball just really well overthrown. It'll be a big 3rd down for the Wildcat offense. Again, the cheerleaders on the sideline in the middle of the water. Puddles all over the field. Really not a great day to play football, but both teams playing with the same conditions.
2:43 remaining here in the first quarter of play at the Barber Field. The official time being kept up here in the press box. 3rd down.
Ooh.
Counter goes nowhere.
Tough to run the counter when everybody in the white jerseys are in the backfield. You saw number 73 right inside. He will break it up. That's Fran De Palma. He will just be all over that, along with number 40 for the Ansonia football team, Tobias Freeman, who has changed his jersey on us. He used to play with 44. He's now playing with number 40, but regardless of the number, Freeman was all over that play.
And it was Day on the counter for Seymour. And Moore just gets it off.
Picked up by Johnson.
Johnson on the other end for Ansonia. Taken down immediately by Sadik on the play. And Ansonia will take over in their 3rd possession in the football game. Buddy caught up with Coach Sponheimer before the game, and he asked the Seymour coach what effect the field conditions would have on the Wildcats' game plan.
I think as the game goes on, I think the crust will start to break up, and we'll be down to grass. As far as the footing, obviously we practiced all week without snow, so our game plan can't change just today. As we go along, if we see things that dictate that the game plan has to be changed because of the footing, then we'll do so. But right now, we're just going to do with what we got here.
Welcome back to the Barber Field.
Ball the Wildcat 44-yard line, 1st and 10 Chargers.
Ansonia on the 44 of the Cats. The pitch goes to Cortez Johnson. And Johnson is spilled after a pickup of 1 on the play.
Tripped up by Gardella.
Gardella on the initial hit for Seymour. Mike Gardella.
Penalty marker down.
Good block by number 81, Rudy Froelich, and then you watch Mike Gardella come right up here and take Cortez Johnson's feet out from under him. An excellent tackle No gain, but we've got a penalty flag down right at the line of scrimmage, and the way Ansonia is backing up, it's going to go against the Chargers. 10 yards, probably a holding penalty against Ansonia, and again, very difficult to get 10 in this type of field condition, so getting 20 yards for a first down is going to be next to impossible here at DeBarber Field.
Well, Ansonia, they try the fullback, and Captain Chris Morrow, he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 20 coming up.
Offensive linemen really do not have good traction here, and it's going to be tough all day. The cleats are going to be filled up with that snow as you get a look at the ice still hanging on the trees, and it is a beautiful, beautiful winter wonderland, but not a great field for football here today as you get a look at the people up behind watching this one here at DeBarber Field, and the Chargers are being slowed down just as the Wildcats are with this field.
Teodosio on the option. He pitches to Andre Smith, and Smith gets back 10 yards on the play.
Big play, but Chargers are still going to be 3rd and 10 here as the Ansonia option, this time with quarterback Teodosio coming out, makes a good pitch. You see Cortez Johnson with a block on the outside on Brian Moore, allowing the running back to turn up, picks up about 10, but it's still 3rd and 11 for that first down.
Ansonia at the 43 of Seymour. We're deep into the first quarter. DeBarber Field. Teodosio wants to throw. Under a rush. Throws downfield. It goes incomplete. He was going for Andre Smith. It was Moore along with Meshia on double coverage for Seymour.
Teodosio does not get a chance to set his feet, but he does a good job because he throws it past the 2 defensive players. Number 9 had a pretty good opportunity for that play, and that was Andre Smith. Just could not come up with it, and Ansonia going to be forced to punt here with 37 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
Well, a game of field position thus far. And again, Benjamin bangs it. This time it will roll into the end zone, and it'll be an automatic touchback. Seymour will get the football at the 20-yard line.
Goes into the end zone, will be brought out to the 20-yard line, first down and 10 Wildcats.
Get a look at the scoreboard. 23 seconds left in this first quarter. Most of the first quarter has been played inside of Seymour territory. Seymour has not had very good field position, but they have been able to put a couple first downs together. That's something that Ansonia has not been able to do. Ansonia would like a turnover right here because turnovers are going to be big in determining the outcome of this football game. You're not going to be able to go the distance this field with these conditions.
Play fake, and Moore puts it up. He slips, then throws it out. It is a completion to the tight end, Tim Sadek, on the play.
Sadek made a great play. Brian Moore had a great pass. They're going to pick up about 5 yards on this one. And again, it's going to be very difficult to get a lot of field conditions. Are just going to dictate what you can do on offense. That's a great catch by Timmy Sadek on the far corner and the outside, and we're going to end this first quarter with the Seymour Wildcats at about their own 25-yard line.
We played 1 quarter here at snow-covered DeBarber Field, and we're scoreless. Back after these words. Everyone to DeBarber Field, and
we just laughed at the officials trying to find the spot as they move the football from one end of the field to the other. They're doing a great job of spotting here.
Moore holds on to the football and gets it outside. Brian Moore, he's dragged down from behind by Cortez Johnson.
For the ball carrier, brought down by Johnson.
That play has worked effectively for Seymour this afternoon.
Brian Moore is doing an outstanding job on the fake as he is able to pull the inside lineman to the football with the fullback, and then to get to the outside as he gets very close to midfield, but there's going to be a penalty. As you see number 7 there for Ansonia, Cortez Johnson riding Brian Moore out of bounds, but this one is going to come back again.
John Morrow, I believe, buddy, John Morrow looks to be held on the play. I don't know if that was the specific infraction.
Maybe we'll get a chance to see it as Paul Sponheimer looked very animated at the end of that play, and I thought he felt that there was a penalty against the Ansonia, not against the Wildcats. But the penalty is going to go against his football team, and he is again going to be backed up right around the 20-yard line, a 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats, as they just had great field position close to midfield. They gave it back with that holding penalty.
Gardella out to the left, Macy out to the right. Sadik is the tight end to the left side. 2nd and 10 for Seymour. They're at their 20. We're just into the second quarter. Give us to the up back, the fullback.
Looked like David Hoyle got the first piece of the ball carrier as the fullback
Barber
just tries to come straight up, and that's the Barber. See number 63, Hoyle, he'll get a piece of the Barber right there, and then he's going to get a lot of help. No gain there. Looks like Laskarian also on the stop, but it'll be a big 3rd and about 9 for Seymour here as they're at their 20. And again, don't want to make a mistake here in this football game. One score could be very costly in this one, so you don't want a turnover down inside your territories. You get a good look along the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10 for the Cats. Play fake. Today, Moore throws. It is off the fingertips of the tight end Sadik, and Johnson for Ansonia closest to defend.
Watch 57 Alapal with a great block here on number 87, John Morrow. He allows quarterback Brian Moore to get to the outside, and then Moore just unable to get the completion. It'll bring up a 4th down as the ball will fall incomplete about the 30-yard line. Again, Seymour forced to punt.
Moore is the punter. And Brian gets it off to the near sideline. And Johnson checked that. Smith for Ansonia wisely moves away from the football. And the Chargers will get the football again in excellent field position. But so far, Ansonia's been unable to get untracked offensively.
They really have been unable to take advantage of very good field position. Seymour has moved the football better than Ansonia, but they have made some costly mistakes that have prevented them from getting the advantage with field position. And Ansonia will start inside of their own territory for the first time today, but still with excellent field position, about the 46-yard line.
That's just where they are. They set up shop out of that wishbone formation. And a counter for Ansonia, and that is Smith out of the wishbone, getting the football up to midfield. From the pack, Kevin Mullen off the pile for Seymour.
Mike Aldo had a chance to make the stop at the line of scrimmage, was unable to, and it allowed the ball carrier to pick up an extra 5 yards. So it'll be a 2nd down right at about midfield.
Wishbone formation. The fullback is Freeman, and the give is to Johnson, and Cortez Johnson powers his way for 4 on the yard. He's going to be close to the line to gain as he moves into Seymour territory.
And that's what we all should be doing.
Those are my thoughts, too.
Good counter as watch Johnson at the end of this drive just lower his shoulder. He's going to be close to 1st down. About a yard short, and Ansonia will come up 3rd and about 1 here on this drive. 9 minutes, 56 seconds left to go here, and I'd love to be sliding that hill.
Ansonia in the bone, 3rd and short. And they try Cortez Johnson.
I don't think he's got it.
He slides to the right side, and I agree with you. I think he was stopped short.
Interesting call right here, because Ansonia is going to have to give up field position if they don't make the 1st down. Watch Johnson try and slide to the outside. Number 89 all over him that time, and that's Timmy Sadik. And you're going to see now a penalty. So it is going to move Ansonia back. Another holding penalty, and holding has been a big problem here in this 1st half for both football teams. Both offenses really with the problem of footing are really using their hands a lot more, and they're being charged with the holding penalty by this officiating crew, and they've been pretty even with both teams. So it is going to be a big 3rd down now, and instead of being 1, it's going to be 3rd and about 12 for Ansonia. As you see Kevin Moreland, the referee of this football game, and it'll put the Chargers in a tough situation to make that 1st down.
Back now at their 45, they'll send Smith in motion on 3rd and long. And Teodosio looking to throw over the middle, has a receiver out there. It is incomplete. He was going for Benjamin. Triple coverage for the Cats.
Number 18, A.J. Macia will make the play here as they try and get the football right into the seam. Good time for Theodosio, but really not a good throw as Macy was in on coverage. It'll bring up a punting situation, and the Chargers now really have been unable to move the football here against Seymour in this first half.
Fourth down in a punting situation for Ansonia. Benjamin is the punter. And the left footer, he sails it again. It's a great punt. On the other end, that's Brian Moore. A couple of Ansonia defenders slipped, but
More on the return.
finally Moore is taken out of bounds.
Get a look at the offensive coordinator, Bobby Killo, for Seymour. His offense has the best field position of the day right now as they are close to the 30-yard line. Watch Brian Moore now as he turns to the outside. Freeman is going to fall down. He almost makes a great block here. Looked like Lascari as he tried to hop over. Good job by Ansonia running Seymour out of bounds, running Brian Moore out of bounds right at around the 30-yard line.
More on the Wildcat 26.
So the 26-yard line is the line of scrimmage for the Cats. On the option, Brian Moore gets it outside. And Moore gets it all the way to midfield before he's taken down by Smith. Brian Moore on the option held on to it, but hold the phone. We've got another flag on the play, and that might come back.
Let's see if we can pick it up. Good fake to the fullback. Then Moore gets to the outside. The penalty, I think, comes against number 7. No, that was his own guy who knocked him down, so it was not there. It's going to be a holding penalty against Seymour, and again, the holds are just killing both offensive teams. Kevin Moreland makes the signal, and Seymour again close to midfield is going to be backed up well inside their 20, somewhere around the 15-yard line. Ron Carkage just brought up a good point. I just mentioned that the inability of the linemen to keep their feet is presenting the problem of the linemen using their hands to maintain contact with the defensive player, and that, I think, is creating the abnormal amount of holding penalties. Both teams are going to have problems with their feet and with the cleats, the snow in their cleats and holding their feet, and that's creating the hold.
1st and 12 for the Cats. Moore wants to throw. He swings it out. It is caught out there. Anthony Day, and Day slips down. It was LaRova who got a hand on him, but Day fell himself on the play.
Brian Moore will roll a little bit. Watch now, number 81, Froelich almost gets a piece of the football. Day able to get a hold of it, and he gets upfield. Be about second and 6 to 7 yards. Nice play by that Wildcat offense. They have really been able to move the football in this terrain better than the Chargers. One would expect the Chargers to have the advantage, but so far Ansonia has not been able to really move the ball, even with great field position.
Day slipped from under his own feet on the slippery turf. The counter. Anthony Day, and Day to midfield and down to the Ansonia 48-yard line.
Day comes through with the counter. Day is able to keep his feet. He comes across the formation. He's going to have great blocking. Watch the block by number 57, Alex Loapat, and number 76 there for the Chargers, or for Chris Thompson for the Wildcats. And they pick up a first down into Ansonia territory for the first time here in this first half.
And Seymour's at the 49 for Ansonia. They're opening up their offense, too. They're playing as if there's no slippery conditions out there. DeBarber from the fullback spot down to the 45-yard line. Now they're spotted at the 47.
Good blocking by Pagliaro and Thompson as they pull through. About a 2-yard pickup by the fullback, DeBarber. And as you get a look up top, the spotters for both teams, see Frank Waricki on the right, and over to the left for Ansonia, John Sponheimer. The two spotters for Ansonia and Seymour calling down the plays to their offensive coordinators.
Second down, Brian Moore on the option. He'll pitch to Anthony Day. And it's Tobias Freeman who came across the field, who ran down the speedy Anthony Day.
Went a long way. We'll pick up about 2 on this one as they come again. The fake to the fullback, then the option. Day comes behind. Good block here on corner, and then Day just tries to outrun the pursuit. Freeman will drag him down. It'll be a 3rd and 5 for Seymour right at the 45-yard line.
Trips out to the left side, single setback for the Cats. That is DeBarber. And Moore, play fake, wants to throw the football, and now he runs with the football, taken down by John Morrow along with Fran De Palma for Ansonia.
Bobby Kello is in the face of Brian Moore. As Moore comes out, he pulls it down here, does not throw, and then comes, and the more he stretches it to the sidelines, the more the pursuit finally catches up with him. It's going to be a 4th and about 7, maybe even 8. Ansonia now back to receive the punt from the Wildcats as they got it to the 50, unable to go any further, and they're going to give the ball back to Ansonia with about 5:30 left to go here in the first half.
High snap from center, but Moore pulls it down. On the other end, Cortez Johnson.
He could go.
Johnson.
It is a foot race.
At midfield, and now he tried to cut it back, and he slipped and fell at the 48-yard line, and Brian Moore was the Seymour defender right there.
This is a great run by number 7 for the Ansonia Chargers, Cortez Johnson, as he breaks a couple of tackles, and now he's going to come to this near side. Right here it becomes a foot race between Cortez Johnson and Brian Moore. As Johnson tries to cut back, he's just going to lose his footing. Cannot cut back, and he will go down just across midfield at about the 49-yard line. And we've got a discussion by the officials. If you look at the sidelines, and we're going to see Kevin Moreland is going to signal a penalty against Seymour, and Ansonia obviously will refuse it.
We've got a break in the action, and let's take this timeout. Muddy and snow-covered DeBarber Field. We're scoreless in this NVL and Intra-Valley rivalry. Midpoint of the second quarter. A counter for Ansonia, and that is Cortez Johnson. And a flag is dropped by the far official.
It's going to go against Ansonia. Looks like they only got 10 guys out there. If I count, they only have 10 men on offense. They come with the counter. Johnson able to pick up pretty good yardage, but it's going to be a procedure penalty against the Chargers. And that play is going to go against a pretty good offensive carry by Cortez Johnson, and the Chargers now will be 1st and 15 from their own about 44, 45-yard line. I thought they only had 10 players out there.
1st and 15 for Ansonia. We're about 5 minutes away from halftime. A scoreless game. Wishbone formation for Ansonia. Teodosio, play fake. Wings it out.
Going to get the
and
penalty
we're going to
there.
have it pass interference against Seymour.
A.J.
Froelich
was
the
all over
intended
Rudy,
receiver.
all over Rudy Froelich as the ball was probably uncatchable. We'll look here as Teodosio rolls out. I don't think Froelich was going to be able to get it, but he gets hit well before the opportunity. It was well over his head anyway, but unfortunately for Seymour, the penalty is going to give Ansonia a 1st down, and they are moving well inside of Seymour territory again at about the 33, 35, maybe 36-yard line, somewhere in there. And it looks like some sunshine is breaking through.
1st down for Ansonia after the infraction against Seymour. And a counter. Running the football, that is Andre Smith.
Oh, another penalty. I see a yellow marker there in the middle of that white. Great counter and an excellent block. I hope he can pick it up. We've got a replay, but one of the Ansonia linemen made a great block. Another holding penalty here. Wow. Here's the block right here. It's 53, I think, right there. He just does a great job of turtling the defensive end. That's Hoyle, 63, David Hoyle. Another great run is going to be negated by this holding penalty, and boy, I'll tell you, there are just too many holding penalties in this football game. That's about the 10th one that we've had here in the first half. So the Chargers are going to be backed up again close to midfield.
Wildcat 48.
First
versus
and 20
Chargers.
for Ansonia. Deep into the second quarter of play. Scoreless. Play fake by Teodosio. Teodosio is ruled down on the play. The senior quarterback was standing up in the pocket, but the officials blew the whistle.
Good
And
job
a
by
whistle.
Kevin Mullen, number 68, who's got a piece of the quarterback, Brent Theodosio. Watch as he tries to get out of the grasp here. He just can't. And he's going to be ruled down right there. Kevin Moreland steps in, and it'll be a second in a lot of territory as you get a look at people over here on the Seymour side, bundled up, sitting on some ice-covered bleachers, snow and ice. The story of today.
Well, Ansonia breaks the bone, and they go to an I formation on second and long. They have a slot to the right side. Teodosio winds up and throws it. Incomplete. He was going for Benjamin. Benjamin was out of bounds on the far side of the field, so it'll bring up a third and long for Ansonia.
This one is up high enough it could bring snow on the way down as Brett Theodosio does not get a good grip, and when he lets it go, it sails on him a little bit. Smith downfield, closest receiver, ball way out of bounds. Coverage there by number 80 for Seymour. Mike Gardella covering Mr. Smith, and it'll bring up a big third and again. Third and a lot. About 27, maybe 30 yards here for Ansonia.
Ansonia has broken the bone. Single back set. 3 wide receivers. Teodosio's under a rush. Senior quarterback rolls right. Now running the football. And he's finally taken down after a good pickup, but well short of the yardage needed for a first down.
Watch the defensive end as he crashes on Theodosio. Theodosio just able to run by him as number 59 loses his footing there, and that's Troy Sobieski. Just could not contain quarterback. He gets to the outside and he picks up some pretty good yardage before he finally is going to be knocked to the ground by number 48, and that's Pete DeBarber.
And the left-footed kicker, Benjamin. He's nailed a lot of them here this afternoon, and Benjamin's kick rolls dead at the 15 of Seymour.
Punting, field position, no turnovers. Very surprised with the fielder. Has not been a turnover, one turnover, excuse me, the first play interception, but no fumbles in this game. Seymour really has had the better of the game, but have not been able to get across midfield, really, even with the drives that they've had, because they just cannot, you just can't sustain a drive in this type of field unless you get that big play. Somebody's got to break a big one here. And Seymour with about 2:50 left to go in this first half.
The Wildcats always up to a challenge. They go to a single back set at the 15. Moore runs out of that formation, and Moore scrambles out past the 40-yard line before he's taken down by John Morrow and Cortez Johnson. But Brian Moore's created an awful lot of problems for the Ansonia defense.
He steps away and then comes back to the near side, so he's stepping to his left, coming back to the right, and there has been nobody there a couple of times. See Cortez Johnson falls down, but finally Morrow with the stop. First down, about the 40-yard line for the Wildcats. 2:33 left to go in this first half.
Sympathy is the up back in the I-back formation. Moore wants to put it up. It's batted down at the line of scrimmage. He was going for the tight end, Sadik.
Second down.
You can watch the linemen here. It's like they're on roller skates. Nobody has good footing here, and a quarterback really has a little bit of an advantage. He rolls to the outside. Ball knocked down. Looked like David Hoyle
knocked it down.
Knocking it down. It'll be a second down for the Wildcat offense.
Second and 10 for the Wildcats. Time running down here in the first half. That's Sympathy running the fullback, running the football from the fullback spot.
David Hoyle all over him as he broke the line of scrimmage. Sympathy just breaks through, and number 63 has got him right at the line. He'll pick up a couple, but it'll be a 3rd and long. About 6 for the Wildcat offense. We're under 2 minutes to go in this first half.
Double tight end set for the Cats. And Moore wants to put it up. Gets it out to Sympathy.
Oh!
And Sympathy is steps out of bounds.
Another holding penalty. Watch they hit at the end of this one by Cortez Johnson. This just a little pass into the flat. Sympathy from his fullback position slides into the flat. Watch the irresistible object or the immovable force here or something like that. Watch this pop.
He was already out of bounds.
Oh, thank you, Lord. That was one of the better tackles of the year. But it's going to be brought back as another holding penalty against Seymour. I would suspect that these have to be blatant holds, or they would not have to get about 10. You kind of look as an official, maybe not to throw anymore, but they just keep coming here. So they've got to be very obvious, I would suspect, or they would maybe try and allow these guys to play a little bit. But it's, again, 3rd and a lot.
3rd and long. Single back set, the counter play. Anthony Day spins off a tackle and gets it across the 40-yard line.
Tackle made by Smith.
Great job by Andre Smith, playing off a lot of blocks, allowing Day to pick up a few extra yards, but making sure he doesn't go the distance. As there's a lot of room as Day gets through here. Some great blocks. Look at 9 play off that block and then make the tackle. Along with Lascari there, preventing the touchdown, but it's still a 4th down for Seymour here, as even that big run did not get them the 1st down. 47 seconds left to go. The Wildcats are going to try for the 1st down here. Look for him to shift into that punt. What do you think? Saw that before.
Not a bad move. In motion is Macia.
What did I tell you, huh? Too bad they got a lot of extra movement there as number 89 jumped also, so we're going to see. That looked like too much movement to be able to get a penalty on, and it is. It's going to go against Seymour. They had everyone. They had 6 guys on the run. Coach Sponheimer does not agree. Watch this one now. You're going to see everybody. You see Moore, you see that. You see the ends move. You got everybody. And I'll tell you, he may have a point here, as unless 89 was set in a 3-point stance, I don't know. He may have a pretty good argument, as he's going to take his case right out to Kevin Moreland, taking the timeout with 32 seconds left to go. And that's what Kevin Moreland is saying. He's saying the number 89 was set, and then he got up. And that is not allowed once he gets into a set position. So Seymour right now takes the timeout with 32 seconds left to go in this first half of football. Surprised, Edward?
Not really. Not really, because I've been doing football enough to know that weather sometimes can be an equalizer.
Certainly can. And we talked about one touchdown maybe being the determining factor as you get a good look at the fans on the Seymour side. Paul Sponheimer, having pleaded his case, back to his side. And as we just said, sometimes the weather can neutralize a football team here, and it's done a pretty good job in slowing down Ansonia. It really hasn't slowed Seymour down. The penalties have done that.
Andre Smith sheds a tackle on the punt return, and the senior captain gets the football to the 45, his own 45.
Smith brought down by Scabby.
Catch is made by Smith, and then he goes to the far side. You see Seymour doing a good job of breaking down. I think that's Moore on the backside. Plays off the block and makes the stop, or that's not Moore, that's Tony Day who played off the block, made the stop, and it will be probably 1 or 2 plays for Ansonia here. 1st down around the 43-yard line.
Ansonia in a wishbone set. Benjamin out to the left side. Theodosio to put it up, throws it over the middle. Incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Froelich, and Froelich took a lick.
Macia just gets all of Froelich. He'll get number 81 right in the number. As Froelich reaches up to make the play, watch Macy just come right in, and he takes his shoulder right into number 81, right at the number, and Froelich is down. He probably got the wind knocked out of him. You see Jack Hunt getting out to help him, and you got to know if he and Jack Hunt are looking eye to eye, that Rudy Froelich is a big boy. Froelich goes about 6'6", and just got himself extended, and Macy caught him right up into the upper midsection, and Froelich will be back, though. He's a tough, tough football player. About 14 seconds left to go here for the Chargers in this first half.
Froelich, a 6'5", 210-pound senior, and I would think, buddy, since the beginning of the season, he's probably
he was looking eye to eye to the big guy, and I know.
Throwing it an additional inch to 6'6". Second down, just seconds left to go in the first half. Teodosio under a rush, and he's going to be brought down. Stayed it, getting to Teodosio.
That should bring the first half to a close here. Great job by Seymour as Theodosio sits in the pocket. A lot of pressure. Number 59 or 89 is going to get him, bring him to the ground. Timmy Sadik will get credit for the sack, and this will bring the first half to an end.
And we played one half of football here at the Barber Field in Seymour. Our halftime score, Ansonia nothing, Seymour nothing. Back with our halftime festivities right after these messages. Back to the Barber Field in Seymour, and it's time for our Spirit Hall of Fame feature, brought to you by the Accident Injury Therapy Center.
Louis DeBarber, president of the Seymour Fathers Club, has been instrumental with field improvements this year, particularly with the water system and clearing brush. His kind of school spirit is a tradition with the DeBarber family. Louis's father was also active in the Fathers Club in the 60s.
Doctors Jay and Stephanie Hockman of the Accident Injury Therapy Center are the proud sponsors of the Valley Spirit Hall of Fame.
Welcome back to the Barber Field in Seymour. And if you'll recall, at the beginning of the game, Ansonia did win the coin flip. They deferred to the second half. They'll get the football first. Brian Moore to kick it off. And the senior captain drills it straight down the middle of the field. On the other end, that is Jarvis Benjamin. And he is taken down from behind by number 59 for the Cats, Troy Sobieski.
Excellent kick. And then as Benjamin tries to get up the field, look at Sobieski there right on his heels. Gets help, and Ansonia will start right at around the 30-yard line here as we open up the second half of football here at the Barber Field.
What Ansonia is going to have to do, buddy, is they're going to have to move the chains, and they're going to have to pick up some first down, something they were unable to do in the first half. They start with a counter off the left side. That is Andre Smith, and he is stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
Seymour has been able to spread out Ansonia on offense. The Ansonia offense is compacted with the bone, and it is allowing a lot of the Seymour Wildcat defensive players to play close to the line of scrimmage, right up in what they call the box. And Ansonia has been unable to push them around, and it's been a difficult first half, and beginning the second half where it looks like the same problems for Ansonia. They're just unable to break open.
Now, there was no pickup on that first down carry. Second down, Teodosio will option, and he pitches to Andre Smith, and Smith popped after a pickup of 2 to 3 on the play.
Smith will get to the outside, but watch the blue jerseys as they converge on the corner. See Cortez Johnson will make a block, but as Smith turns up, you see an awful lot of blue jerseys there, and about 2.5 to 3 yard pickup for Ansonia on the option. And again, the field conditions are just slowing down the outside speed that the Chargers have, and it'll bring up a third, about 7 for Ansonia.
Ansonia, third down and 7.
Wishbone formation for Ansonia, and they break the bone. Single setback is Chris Morrow. Teodosio throws a short pass through the fingertips of Rudy Froelich, and Froelich was wide open on the wing there.
Would have been a foot race down the sidelines as Froelich just comes from his tight end position. He slides into the flat, and just an excellent throw, and Froelich just does not look it in, but there was no one around him on that play, and it's a
Benjamin in punt formation
Fourth
for the
down,
Chargers,
punting
quarterback,
situation for
64
Ansonia.
Wildcats.
And Seymour ought to have some very good field position out of this. And Benjamin's been a plus for Ansonia in his punting, drills it downfield. Brian Moore, who's been taught to do just that. There's a reason for what Moore did. He just moved laterally and got out of bounds. Since Moore sees play on every down for the Wildcats, he's been taught to basically run out of bounds and not take a hit.
See if we see the clipping penalty, but there is a clip here against Seymour as Moore just runs it out of bounds. You see the flag coming. Although the guy was not knocked down by the Seymour blocker, he did hit him in the back. He hit an Ansonia player in the back. Brian Moore getting some directions from Bobby Kello back out, and it's going to back up Seymour into their territory. And whatever field position they had, they're going to be backed up inside their own 20 again. And not a good play by the special teams unit of Seymour, as the Wildcats will be starting about their own 17-yard line. So whatever field position they had is going to be negated by the clipping penalty, and Seymour will start with their first possession, backed up at around the 17.
First and 10 for the Cats, their first possession of the second half. We're scoreless here in the second half. Our Cable 10 Sports Valley High School football game of the week in this Naugatuck Valley League and intra-valley rivalry. Ansonia and Seymour have not played that many times over the years, but it's an intense rivalry. The counter to Anthony Day, and he takes a pop from a cake, the mud cake, Cortez Johnson.
Come again with the misdirection. Good blocks along the line of scrimmage. You see number 87 try and get a piece from him. That's John Morrow. Could not. Cortez Johnson, though, does get a good pop in, and it's about a 5-yard gain for Seymour.
Cats at their 22-yard line. Single back set for Seymour. They give to the fullback, that is Matt Sympathy, for a pair.
Another penalty here. Is this just, at some point you got to let these kids play with the conditions. As the fullback comes inside,
That's gonna,
David Hoyle will get a piece of him, and going to get a penalty now against the Ansonia. Kevin Moore signals a, looks like a face mask in there, and it will be a first down for Seymour as they move the chains. I would guess out around the 30, 33, 37. Arnie Rehnquist says 37. I'll go with him
we'll
because
go with
we're
Arnie
guessing.
because he's seen more football games than we have up here at the Barber Field. Long-time public address announcer here for Seymour High School football. First down for the Cats, single back set. On that misdirection to Anthony Day. There's a fine defensive play by John Morrow, the defensive end who stayed at home.
Morrow will just slide off the block as you see a number of blue jerseys trying to get Day to the outside, but Morrow just stays with the block, plays off it very well, and it'll be about a 2-yard loss for Seymour.
And the ball resting at the Seymour 35. Skies have really brightened up here. As in your shot, you see the football in the snow and mud here at DeVarver Field. Second down, play fake. Moore throws it out. It's intercepted. That is John LaRova for Ansonia, and LaRova with a convoy gets it inside the 10-yard line. John LaRova, sophomore monster back.
What you don't want to do is give up field and the big play, as good pressure against Moore. Moore tries to get it out to his receiver who was open. It just goes out of the reach of the intended receiver. That's 31 out there. LaRovo picks it, and he is going to get inside the, looks like the 10 to about the 5-yard line, where it'll be a first and goal for the Chargers. Big play by John LaRova.
That's inside the 5, and Ansonia to the power wishbone offense. And they run Andre Smith, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it was Mike Aldo who tripped Smith up on the play, the 6-foot, 194-pound junior.
Picks up maybe a half a yard as you see Smith come out of that power set. Aldo got him in the backfield. Smith lucky to pick up a half a yard. Be a second and goal, maybe the 4-yard line, 4 or 5-yard line.
Well, Ansonia running double tight. Out of the wishbone. Freeman is the fullback. They run Smith off the left side. He stacked up again at the line of scrimmage.
Big play right here because on 4th down,
Brought down by Jay.
be an interesting call as they're not going to pick up much again as Smith comes behind Freeman and Johnson. He may have gotten about a yard. It's going to be, again, about a third, 3.5 yards to go for the touchdown.
Double tight. Tobias Freeman is the upback, the fullback. They give to Smith. He powers in for the score.
This time Ansonia comes right up the middle. They do not try to get to the outside to get the ball to, looks like Cortez, or get to Andre Smith. He just comes right up inside following Freeman and Johnson for the touchdown. So 7:13 at the third quarter. After the turnover and great return by LaRova, Ansonia gets into the end zone, jumps ahead 6-0 here at the Barber Field.
And the all-important extra point, Theodosio is the holder, and Adam Richmond for the point after. The kick is up. It's good. And Ansonia leads it 7-0. Timeout on the field. Time in for these men. Back to the Barber Field. Well, we've had the game's first score, and it was all created with the interception by sophomore monster back John LaRova, picking off a Brian Moore pass and returning the football inside the 5. Where 3 plays later, Andre Smith powered in from 2 yards out. Adam Richmond converted on the extra point, and Ansonia leads it 7-0. And Theodosio is doing some house cleaning out there at the 40-yard line.
He's trying to get down to the turf to get some footing as he attempts to kick the ball to the Ansonia or to Seymour.
He squibs it. Fielded by Scabby. And Scabby is down in a pile at the 40-yard line.
Scabby takes the short kick and then just tries to get him straight up the field. Watch the footing of the blockers as they really cannot get any type of traction. Becoming more and more difficult to find the ability to get your cleats into the turf to get some traffic or traction. 7:07 left to go here in this third quarter. Seymour now needs some big plays here to get back into this football game.
High back formation, Brian Moore, the senior quarterback, gives straight ahead to Anthony Day, and Day for a pair through the center of the line.
Just the blast play, the fullback on the lead. That's the Barber, and then Day coming right behind him. Good job by Ansonia in front of Tesselik and Hoyle. They're doing a good job all day.
De Palma also in on the stop for Ansonia, bud. 2nd and 7 for the Cats at the 43. Moore, a play fake, straight drop, knocked down. Chris Morrow at the line of scrimmage.
See a little bit of a change in that Ansonia defense now that they've got 7 points. Ball thrown out there, and number 39 just does a good job. Chris Morrow, the defensive tackle, getting the ball, knocking it down, preventing the reception. Another 3rd down, big one for for Seymour. 3rd and 7, about the 42, 43-yard line of the Wildcats, and they're going to go to the shotgun.
Moore out of the shotgun, 3rd and 7. High snap. And a loose ball on the play. And let's see if the Wildcats have maintained possession.
It's the 2nd time the ball has been snapped high. Last time they went to the gun, the ball was snapped into the end zone. The ball is very high. Moore does a good job in controlling it, and then finally falling on the loose football. Be a punting situation for Seymour.
Johnson and Smith back deep for the Chargers. Fourth one formation for the Wildcats.
Brian Moore, the punter. The snap from center. And Brian kicks it downfield. It's a good kick. It's Cortez Johnson bounces off a Seymour defender, held his ground, and then advanced the football 5 additional yards.
Johnson on the return.
Tony Day got the first hit on Cortez Johnson. As Johnson gets it, Day gets a piece of him but does not wrap up, and then Johnson breaks the tackle. Finally wrapped up by number 45 for the Seymour Wildcats, and that's Todd Scabby, who did a good job in wrapping up Cortez Johnson. You see again the officials huddling in the center of about the 40-yard line, and we're going to see what that one is. They're talking to Ansonia. Looks like it's going to go against Seymour. Question of whether it's a pre or post possession. Kevin Moreland explaining the options to Andre Smith. You see him signaling against Seymour. And we'll see what Kevin Moreland has to say. It's going to go against Seymour. So it's going to push the Seymour Wildcats back, and they're going to have to re-kick. They will be backed up another 10 yards to about their 30. So Ansonia hoping to pick up some field position on this exchange as they're going to punt the ball from inside their 30. So Ansonia had the ball at about their own 40-yard line. We'll see where they are able to get it now on this punt exchange as Brian Moore is going to be forced to kick the ball again to Ansonia. And this time, Cortez Johnson is already close to midfield, so they're expecting pretty good field position for the Chargers.
Moore backed up to his 12, and he punts it. It's going to go out of bounds, and Ansonia's going to pick up some great field position.
At least 20 yards.
As the football sailed out of bounds, we've got a break in the action. Let's go to our third quarter feature, the play of the week from the Naugatuck Holy Cross of Waterbury football game. And our play of the week is sponsored by Shelton Mitsubishi.
Shelton Mitsubishi's play of the week.
Darrell Wells, the senior, in to kick the field goal. At the 12. The snap, the placement, the kick, it is up. It is good. And Naugatuck has pulled it out in the Kansas tiebreaker as the Greyhounds go wild. Welcome back to the Barber Field. So Ansonia, after the Seymour infraction, as Seymour kick it off again, and it is Andre Smith from the wishbone sliding down close to the 30-yard line on the first down carry.
Smith following Moore, and Cortez Johnson gets through there, finds a seam, picks up good yardage, about 6 yards for the first down carry by Andre Smith.
Second down and 4.
They're right around the 30-yard line.
Benjamin, the wide out to the left side. And they try the other side. This is Cortez Johnson to the 10. And Johnson for the pylon. Ansonia score. Cortez Johnson from 30 yards out.
Touchdown run for Johnson of the Chargers.
Again, good blocking, especially by the two up backs. You see Smith make a pretty good block, and then Johnson just finds the seam. It's a foot race. Brian Moore has an opportunity. Will get him, but not before Cortez Johnson gets across the goal line for the second touchdown for the Ansonia Chargers. So within 3 minutes, Ansonia is about to put up their 14th point of this football game.
And it's it's checked at the sophomore place kicker, Adam Richmond, on the point after. And our new score from here at the Barber Field, Ansonia 14 and Seymour nothing.
Seen the importance of turnovers in field position in this one. The turnover by LaRova setting up the first score, and then Ansonia with great field position starting at about the 35-yard line. It took them 2 plays to get into the end zone. They enjoy a 14-0 score here in this football game here at the Barber Field. 4:56 left to go here in this third quarter.
237-058.
Seymour has to get something going right now. They're down 2 scores, and they, with the difficulty of moving the football to get 2 touchdowns, they're going to have to get something right now on this drive.
The dynamic duo, Clemens and Chernovich.
The squib kick by Teodosio rolls out of bounds.
They can take that right there, right, Edward?
Absolutely, Bud, and I would think that's what
where they're
Seymour
going to take it.
would want to do, is just take it where the football went out of bounds.
Close to the 40-yard line, so excellent field position. Another penalty. This one will go against the Ansonia, and Seymour will refuse it. They'll start at about the 40-yard line. 4:56 left to go here in this third quarter. See Bobby Keller talking to his quarterback, Brian Moore. I don't know how much more Seymour can open up the football game with their offense. They've been running a lot of their basic package, so with the field conditions, I don't know how much more they're going to be able to do here against the Chargers.
First and 10 from the Seymour 43. Play fake, and Brian Moore is going to put it up. Throws it out there for the completion. Machia is upset at himself because he slipped down on the play.
I think he wanted the first down. He was concerned about the yardage for the first down. On a first down throw here, not important, as Machia comes back to the football very well. Watch him come back up into the football, makes the reception from Brian Moore. It'll be a second, very short, as Seymour crosses midfield into Ansonia territory.
Down at the 48-yard line. Second and a yard. About 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. I-back formation. 2 wideouts to the left side, and straight ahead for the first down is Moore.
Moore with the football.
And if ever there's a time for Seymour to answer back in this football game, it's right now.
They need something really to get their sidelines back into the football game. A drive right here would reestablish a little bit of the offensive dominance that really they enjoyed in the first half. So they've got to get something going right here, because Ansonia is not going to sit back with 14 points. They've got the highest number of points in the state, and if they can get any more, they're going to do that very quickly here.
All at the 45. Moore on the option, holds on to the football, and he takes the first pop from Cortez Johnson before a couple of the other Chargers assist on the play. Chris Morrow.
I'll tell you, I have a great deal of respect,
along with David Hoyle,
for Cortez Johnson. This guy comes to play every play. He is going to hit you when he gets the football. He's going to run over you. He is a quality football player, and that time he delivered a pretty good pop to Brian Moore as he turned the corner.
Second and 7 for the Cats at the Ansonia 41. Deep into the third quarter. Brian on a fly pattern, completes it down to Todd Scavy, and Scavy down to the 10-yard line.
That's a great pass from Brian Moore as he led Scavy. Scavy just comes off the line, right down the seam. Brian Moore puts it out in front of him. Scavy runs under it, looks the football in, and will get down inside the 10-yard line, or right around the 10-yard line. First down, big play. About the 11, it's going to be first and 10 at the 11 for the Wildcats. That's a big play they needed.
Big play, and the Cats with their most serious scoring drive. It is inside to the fullback on first down.
They've got to complete the drive, though. They've got to get 6 points out of this one as they go to the fullback.
The Barber
just comes straight up, and he really runs into problems there. You see number 77, Peter Teselik, all over him. Picks up maybe a yard as you get a look at the large number of fans here watching this one. It's a good crowd considering the day and the weather here at the Barber.
Second down for the Cats. I-back formation. The Barber is the fullback. Day deep in the eye. Scavy spread wide to the left. On the option, the pitch is on the turf. Day covers up, and Hoyle hovers over Day. So it'll be third and long now for the Cats.
Good pressure on Brian Moore as he comes around. Look at Froelich. Doesn't allow Moore to get around the corner. Pitches to Day. The ball on the turf. Day does a good job in covering it up. See those icicles on the goalpost, and that's kind of like the story here. And my feet kind of feel like those icicles here. I'm wondering if my toes are still with me here. It is cold.
Machia along with Scavvy out to the right side from the 13 now. Moore over the middle, and a pass is batted down.
I don't know if it was batted down. It looks like an incompletion. I thought it might have gone as a fumble, but Kevin Moreland signals an incompletion. Brian Moore, as he gets up in there, there's going to be a lot of white jerseys converging on him. As he releases, the ball just slips out of his hands. That's what happened. Just slipped out of his hands. He tried to get Scavvy on a little post right across to the goal line. It's going to be a 4th down here for the Wildcats. I hate to say in the 3rd quarter that this could be the game, but this may be the biggest play for Seymour here today. And they're going to take a timeout and talk about it. This is a very big offensive play for the Seymour Wildcats.
1:19 remaining here in the 3rd quarter of play. Ansonia leads at 14-0, but after a short kickoff for Ansonia after their 2nd score, Seymour has driven down the field. They had a 1st and 10 from the Ansonia 11. And Ansonia's defense has come up big in the last few plays, and now it's a 4th and goal from the 14 of Ansonia. And a new football is being brought out now for the Cats.
They would like their quarterback to be able to throw a dry football. That last one just slipped off out of his hands. Brian Moore now will need a big play. They can get a 1st down at about the 1-yard line, but for all intents and purposes, they've got to get into the end zone right here.
Then Machia to the left side, Gardella to the right side. Single back set for Seymour. Moore back to throw, pumps, throws into the end zone, picked off there. Benjamin. Jarvis Benjamin. And Benjamin all the way down to the Seymour 44-yard line.
Jarvis Benjamin will take the interception on the goal line. There's pretty good protection. As Moore releases, you're going to get drilled by, I guess, Rudy Frohlers from the backside, but Benjamin right on the goal line with excellent coverage, and then he's going to just come right down the Seymour side, and I'll tell you, he's about a step away from going the distance. Right here as he cuts back, backside pressure finally gets him. He crosses midfield down about the 44-yard line, but a big, big defensive play by the Ansonia defensive football team. And we're going to have
one of the Cats' butt is down on the field in the end zone, and that's the reason for the delay now. And Buddy, I don't know if
that was the intended receiver, and the way they're working his leg, it looks like might be just a cramp as he fell down trying to get a piece of Benjamin, and that's all it is. Machia with the cramp, he will come off, but the Chargers now with great field position about the 44, 45-yard line of Seymour.
And Buddy, I don't know if our viewers remember from last year's Ansonia-Seymour game. That was a close game for the 1st half, but to start the 2nd half, it was Benjamin returning the 2nd half kickoff deep into Seymour territory from where Ansonia scored, and that was all Ansonia in that football game. Andre Smith out of the bone, and suddenly Ansonia has a rejuvenated wishbone.
You said one touchdown would be a key. Ansonia got it, and since then they have just been able to run the football, be able to find a few more holes, and be able to be a little bit stronger on defense. So that first score, all important in this game, and now the Chargers looking to get the 3rd one right here.
2nd and short, a yard, and the captain, Cortez Johnson, maintains his feet, picks up the 1st down at the 22.
You're starting to see the Ansonia linemen congratulating each other as they are making some fine blocks. Watch Hoyle, number 63, come out and make a pretty good block on the corner. See number 9, Smith, with a great block along with Hoyle, and Johnson able to pick up the 1st down as the Charger offense now, when that bone is really starting to take advantage of the size of the Charger offensive line and the fact that the Seymour Wildcats may be tiring.
Smith is stopped after a short pickup, 1 yard on the play. stopped by Alex Alifat, 6 foot 207 pound junior defensive end.
You see the scoreboard right there, signaling the end of the third period.
We play 3 quarters here at the Barber Field in Seymour. Our third quarter score, Ansonia 14, Seymour nothing. To the Barber Field.
We open the fourth quarter of play. Chargers with a second down and 7.
Ansonia 2nd and 7, deep in Seymour territory. And that's Cortez Johnson finding his way, maintaining his feet, and he does not want to go down. He's inside the 5. And Buddy made the comment a moment ago that the Seymour defense is being worn down by that big Ansonia offensive line.
Johnson will come on a little bit of a counter play. Keeps his feet, as Eddie just said, and then just drives forward. You've got to tackle this guy, and if you don't, he is not going down. He is very close to the goal line. Great run by Cortez Johnson.
First and goal. They try Johnson. Touchdown.
Johnson, 3-yard touchdown for the Chargers.
The Ansonia side has to be very relieved. Cortez Johnson getting in for the 3rd touchdown. Big play by Jack LaRocca, or
LaRova.
LaRova with the interception and setting up the first score. And since then, it has just been a different football game, as the Chargers really have just dominated here from the 7:06 point of the 3rd quarter.
Adam Richmond on the point after. No good.
No good.
And that is a rare occurrence in 1997. Matter of fact, Richmond was 38 for 38, Buddy, on PATs before missing his first attempt against Derby. And I believe he had begun another streak, and this time wide of the mark. I think you can excuse the sophomore place kicker. It's a wet and muddy field out there. Our new score is Ansonia 20 and Seymour nothing, with 11:40 remaining in the football game.
Ansonia now with the 20 points and the conditions of the field and the way the Seymour Wildcats have played. Seymour needs a pep rally here. They need something to get their football team back into the game, and that's why I thought the last drive by Seymour was so important. Not getting into the end zone really takes a lot out of your football team, and we're going to see if the Wildcats can stay in this one now against a very, very strong and big Ansonia Charger defense.
That's Matt Sympathy.
Returned by Sympathy. Tackle made by Benjamin.
Brought down by Benjamin.
Sympathy tries to get to the outside. You see Benjamin staying with him. Again, not really able to cut very well in this field, and it's pretty much a straight-ahead game. Seymour and Brian Moore are going to have to put the ball up here, down 20 points here with 11 minutes and 35 seconds, and that's not going to be an easy chore here on this field.
Ball at the 32-yard line. Seymour down by 3 scores. Moore back to throw. Winds up, throws downfield, overthrows the intended target, and it's Mike Gardella.
Pass intended for Gardella, second down and 10.
Gardella just comes down the center. Ansonia trying to hold the receivers up at the line of scrimmage and then playing a deep zone with a number of their defensive backs into that zone with good coverage. Get a look at the Wildcat emblem on the helmet. But the Chargers will just play deep with their 3 deep and play the football, forcing Seymour to try and make some big plays here. And against the conditions, the type of conditions, it's going to be tough for those offensive linemen to block the defensive linemen when they know that the pass is coming.
Moore screens it to Sadik, and it's incomplete. And making sure that the play is dead is Tobias Freeman.
Third down.
Screen passes. You see the lineman allowing Ansonia to come in and then just unable to get the ball out to Sadik. Brings up a big 3rd and 10 for Seymour.
Gardella out of your picture wide to the left side. Sadek, the tight end, to the left side. And Moore on 3rd and 10. Slips on the drop. Gets it off incomplete. But from behind, it was big Pete Teslick who had a hand on Moore. Let's see what that flag is all about.
Protection breaks down. Teslick just goes right through the blocker, and he'll get right into the Ryan Moore. And I don't know what the penalty is going to be.
They're talking it over with the Ansonia captain.
It's going to be a grounding against Seymour, so it'll be a loss of down.
It's a tough call, buddy.
It was a tough call as Brian Moore just really tried to throw it as he was being dragged to the turf by Pete Teslick. Brings up a punting situation, and Seymour really not able to do anything in those 3 downs. Going to be forced to punt the ball to Ansonia, who's going to enjoy, again, very good field position after the exchange.
Moore inside his 5-yard line to punt it away. And it's fielded there, dropped by Andre Smith, and it was the presence of Cortez Johnson to calmly pick up the football, but they're going to rule that one of those young men's knees touched down at the 48 of Seymour.
Watch, the ball is going to touch the foot of Smith. Right there, he touched it. Cortez Johnson saw that. Calmly, as Eddie said, just walked over, picked it up. Another day at the office, but there's going to be a penalty here against the Ansonia. A clip against the Chargers, and Ansonia will start at about the 30, 35 maybe. Boy, it is impossible. If there were not numbers on the fence here, we would be in serious trouble.
Oh, we borrow from Arnie Rehnquist up here. And that, and looking across the field at the yard markers.
On the 38-yard line of the Chargers, 1st down and 10.
So Arnie says the 38, and that's good enough for us. 1st and 10 for Ansonia. They lead it 20-0, all 20 points in the second half here at the Barber. The counter, Andre Smith.
On the carry. First to make contact with Moore.
Smith comes on the counter, and again, there's great blocking out in front of him as he is able to get across in 45, picked up about 8 yards on that carry.
Give to the upback, the fullback, one of Ansonia's 4 captains on the year, Chris Morrow. Maybe a yard on the play, pushed back by the Seymour defense.
Morrow takes the quick handoff, sliding off the block and into the tackle, number 31 for Seymour, Matt Sympathy, and it'll be short of the 1st down.
3rd and 3 coming up for Ansonia. For Ansonia this year, the quad captains, Chris Morrow, Cortez Johnson, Andre Smith, and never to overlook the offensive guard and defensive tackle, David Hoyle. 3rd and short for Ansonia, under 10 to play in this football game. Andre Smith, 1st down Ansonia, as he powers behind the blocks to the left side of the offensive line. And Cortez Johnson and the fullback Morrow.
Morrow and Johnson lead him through. Smith picks up the 1st down, moving the chains, keeping the clock running. Ansonia just across midfield into Seymour territory.
The Chargers have gone double tight end. Morrow, John Morrow, younger brother of Chris Morrow, left end, and Rudy Froelich, the right end. Cortez Johnson.
Johnson on the carry.
Stopped in the secondary by Sadek.
Smith and Morrow blocking for him. Johnson finds a seam. 69 is on his back, preventing a touchdown run that time. But the Charger offense now has just taken over this football game. Since the 7:06 mark with the interception, they have really dominated here in this third into the fourth period.
Andre Smith.
Smith carries.
And he lunges for some extra yardage.
Sympathy on the tackle.
Ansonia with just straight ahead blocking. They're just coming off, getting into the Seymour defense and allowing the two running backs to find a hole for either Johnson, Smith, or Morrow. Been very successful as they picked up another first down close to the 33, 34-yard line of the Wildcats.
Again, the tight formation out of the wishbone, and you won't see the football in the air again for Ansonia. Cortez Johnson for 8 yards on first down.
Penalty thrown in there, probably a face mask as you see Cortez Johnson getting up, clapping his hands. Again, Morrow and Smith out in front. Good blocks by Morrow and Smith. Johnson turns the corner. That's where the face mask comes in. You see the flag, and it will be another big one against Seymour.
Face mask against the Wildcats.
And that'll be another first down for the Ansonia Charger offense.
But I should note, too, that checking into the secondary for Seymour and playing his final game for the Cats, not really his final game, I should say his final home game.
And the guys are still sliding on the hill.
Is Len Green.
Good endurance.
5'10". We'll get back to that in a bit. 5'10", 165-pound senior playing his final game here at DeBarber Field. You saw the football moved down inside the 15. That's Smith. Powers off the left side and gets inside the 10. Getting up from the pile, Kevin Mullen.
Just straight ahead. Power football. And I think, speaking of Len Green, I think I was privileged to be able to coach both of his father and brother, his twin brother, when they played here at Seymour a few years ago under Danny Heffernan.
Second down for Ansonia out of the wishbone. Ball on the ground. Cortez Johnson picking his way to the 5.
Johnson carries.
Again, just solid up inside. Johnson picking a spot. Be a third down for the Ansonia offense. And
third down about 2 from the 6-yard line.
With 7:13 left to go here, it's just a matter of what the final score is going to be. Ansonia's been able to score a lot of points with this football team, and in this third and fourth period, they're trying to make up for a few that they didn't get in the first half.
Cortez Johnson takes a pop as he gets inside the 5.
Johnson on the carry.
Appeared to pick up a first down.
Fake to Morrow, and then coming back to Johnson on the counter with Smith on the lead block, close to getting in there, about a yard and a half short. First and goal for the Chargers.
Should give credit to that Ansonia offensive line, and Coach Jack Hunt said to me during the week, we don't go anywhere without them, and we'll do that again before the end of the football game. First and goal, touchdown. Teodosio, Brent Teodosio straight ahead for the 4th Ansonia score.
Quarterback sneak follows his center. That's Mike Rowley behind Hoyle and Petrosky right into that end zone for the touchdown.
Now, you mentioned a couple of the line there, Rowley, Petrosky, David Hoyle. Also seeing time at offensive guard has been David Simmons. The tackles, Jason Hawks, Fran DePalma. The tight end, Rudy Froelich, and John Morrow seeing a lot of duty at the other tight end. And Adam Richmond has started maybe another streak for Ansonia. He converts. Our new score, Ansonia 27, Seymour nothing. We'll be back right after these messages. Welcome back to DeBarber Field. Ansonia's broken it open. 27-0. Brian Moore returning for the Cats.
Moore on the return of Teodosio's kickoff.
Short kick, Moore picks it up, comes straight up the center of the field, does a good job in getting the ball close to the
Birthday on the tackle.
35-yard line where the Wildcats will take over. And
Wildcats start
that last
first down
score
and
has started a lot of people toward the exits.
Wildcats at their own 37.
37-yard line is where Seymour sets up to the tailback. Anthony Day.
Sympathy the ball
Or
carrier.
check that Sympathy, Matt Sympathy running out of the tailback spot.
Again, Hoyle
Get a 3, second down and
with
7.
the first contact. Seymour trying to just run that blast. And it is a winter wonderland, a beautiful, beautiful picture in the background here at Seymour, as the ice has not melted at all today, so really hasn't warmed up that much, and we did not get the sunshine that they promised.
Let's set the backfield for you. That is Sympathy out of the tailback spot. Aldo in front of him, and Matt picks up the first down close to midfield for the Cats.
Tackle made by Crowley.
Sympathy follows Thompson and Pagliaro to the outside, breaks a tackle, and then gets up the field for the first down. Does a good job maintaining his balance,
Ball to Wildcats,
very
49,
close to the
first and
50-yard
10.
line.
Time running down here at Seymour's to Barber Field.
It's not running fast enough yet.
Aldo, the fullback. Double tights for the Cats. Sympathy getting into Ansonia territory. Stopped by Andre Smith. Smith and Cortez Johnson absolutely outstanding in the secondary.
Again, Sympathy trying to find some room right up the middle. Maybe a yard to a yard and a half. Coach Paul Sponheimer there. His football team played a great first half. They were in the football game until the turnover at the 7:06 mark. And since then, the Charger offense really has been able to dominate and take control of the game.
On the handoff to Sympathy for short yardage. I think another big play in the football game, buddy.
The ball carrier.
We'll get it after this replay.
Again, Sympathy just busting up in the middle. Again, Hoyle and company stopping him for maybe a half a yard loss. And Eddie, you were just mentioning another big play.
Big play, buddy, when I thought a real momentum shifter when Ansonia went up by 14-0. And then Seymour came right down the field, had a chance to score, and then Ansonia, the interception, it was the interception. As we get back to live action, the pitch to Sympathy, we've got a flag dropped on the play.
Sympathy, penalty marker down.
That was the Benjamin pick that I'm referring to when Seymour had gotten down deep into Ansonia's territory, and Benjamin on the fine return. I thought that was really a backbreaker, along with LaRova's first pick that set up Ansonia's first score.
See the option, and on the pitch, after the ball is released and it goes to the turf right there, we're going to get a late hit.
Well, that John Morrow coming in late.
So it'll give it the Wildcats a first down, and you're right. And I thought that whole drive, the sequence of the drive, it was 3rd and 14 or 4th and 14 that the Ansonia defense did a great job in stiffening up at that point. The interception by Smith was just the last part of that great defensive stand. That sort of has closed the books on the Seymour Wildcat offense here in this football game.
Well, the Seymour Wildcats have it inside the Ansonia 40. And they just run the fullback, that is Aldo. Mike Aldo, number 36, 6 foot 194-pound junior.
3 yards, second down and 7.
Seymour will have one more game to close out this season. They will drop to 7-3 with the loss here this afternoon, but they'll finish up on the road against the Crosby Bulldogs. Ansonia will mark time until Thanksgiving when they go up to Naugatuck to face the Greyhounds.
That'll be a big one also.
Moore ends up with the football on 2nd down.
I know we talked with the Darien coach before the game, who was here scouting the Chargers, and Darien and Ansonia along with Bloomfield North Branford are really in the hunt for the playoffs. And Craig Peters was here also scouting the Chargers for that big game Thanksgiving. So that game may determine whether the Chargers are in the playoffs. And I know that that's a goal that they've had, and they certainly would like to find Darien again somewhere down the road.
Jack Hunt told us in the pregame that it's a real tough division. Going to practically go undefeated to make the playoffs. Ansonia got in with 2 losses last year. Moore's pass for Gardella goes incomplete. It was Smith on coverage. Also in attendance here this afternoon was Bloomfield coach Jack Cochran.
Just a fly pattern. They just try and get the receiver down deep, just out of his reach. Kevin Moore unable to get it. Or excuse me, Brian Moore just unable to get the football to him. As you get a look at the sidelines, and it's getting colder by the minute. But these fans are true fans. They are staying right to the end of this football game as you look down that Seymour side.
4th down coming up for the Caps with 2:02 remaining. They're inside the Ansonia 30-yard line. Ansonia leads at 27-0. Moore on the option. And that is Matt Sympathy. It'll depend on the spot.
I hope Kevin Moreland just gives a yes, because I don't want to see him bring those line markers across. Again, the option to the outside. A little bit of a block behind the back there that was not called. Sympathy just comes up short of the 1st down, and the Chargers will take over with 1:55 left before I can get in the car and warm up my feet.
Well, one other concern Jack Hunt had, and I asked him the question during the week, and that was, are you concerned about not being tested? We talked about the fact that his team seldom plays four quarters, but Seymour tested them this afternoon. They were forced to play a full football game. I think that's got to help Ansonia. Tight formation, going to take a few knees here.
Peter Claret has mentioned that just at halftime. Last time the Ansonia really was pushed in a football game, and you're right, but that's a credit to the Ansonia Charger coaching staff that these kids are very well conditioned, and they're able to play 2, 3, or 4 quarters, and they certainly showed in the 3rd and 4th period that they were able to put it into gear and to come up with some big plays here to pull ahead 27-0 in this one, because they were challenged in that first half into the 3rd quarter.
Another knee by Teodosio.
Once again taking a knee.
And the time is running out here at the Barber Field. Minute to go. The clock is running. And you see Jack Hunt in your picture.
Ansonia is not going to be able to kill the clock here. They're going to have to punt the football or give it back to Seymour.
Teodosio again taking a knee.
Another knee on 3rd down.
See if they just take the penalty and maybe take another knee here and allow Seymour 1 play on offense. But they're not going to be able to totally run it out with 30 seconds. They're going to be about 5 to 7 seconds left on the clock. Been an interesting second half, Edward, and it was really the turnover that changed the course of this football game and allowed the Ansonia Chargers to score the 1st touchdown. And
interesting, buddy, too.
They're going to end it right here.
That John LaRova, just to make this point, LaRova was in place playing the monster back spot for Ron Linder. So very interesting sidelight. Very talented sophomore, 5'8", 145-pound sophomore. So we have completed play. The clock is run down here at the Barber Field in Seymour. And our score, Ansonia 27, Seymour nothing. We'll be back with our Seymour Oil Player of the Game presentation right after these messages.
Statistics show that the average